We are entering day 17 of the government shutdown, and Democrats are no closer to giving money for border security. But President Trump may be signaling that he's willing to come to the table, offering a change, at least from the border wall to a steel barrier. Joining me now to discuss is the director of California Women's Leadership Association, Ashley Hayek. Thank you very much for joining us. Always great to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you're there in San Diego. Let's begin with this. You were actually down visiting a portion of the border just before Christmas. What was your experience, and what can you share with people?
What I know for fact is that the Border Patrol agents that are working very, very hard, tirelessly to make sure we're safe. They're doing a lot of humanitarian efforts. They're working with people who have scabies and are not well, and they are definitely focused on keeping our border safe. And I was actually reminded of Operation Gatekeeper, which happened in the 1990s during the Clinton administration, and it was when they actually increased the budget, increased the number of the Border Patrol agents, and they built the wall that's down across like the California border. And what that did actually was, first of all, decrease the number of illegal crossings tremendously, but also it created a lot of development. That's how there's a big shopping mall at the border, there's housing, there's a new school. So it really actually did a lot for the community in San Ysidro. So the borders, it works, and then there's also an economic impact that is very beneficial to the region as well.
Earlier in the show, actually at the very top of the show, we had someone speaking on that, Teslin Figaro, talking about how putting up a border wall does benefit people financially in terms of manufacturing jobs, that type of thing. There was something that happened over the weekend on Fox News Sunday. Sarah Sanders was on there, and she was talking about, in terms of the illegals who do cross the border, or the people who do cross the border illegally, the numbers of those that include terrorists. And she used a number that we've heard quite frequently, that being 4,000. And Chris Wallace pushed back on that a little bit and said that a lot of those actually happened at the airports. But yet we do have people crossing the borders who should not be here.
Correct. I believe the numbers based on Department of Homeland Security are 17,000 in fiscal year 2018 with a criminal record, as well as an additional 6,000 folks who just overall, like, there's a significant number of criminals that even within the current caravan.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, it took one person to kill an innocent American last week, the police officer. There were 12 high-profile cases this past year of Americans who were killed. And quite frankly, it is not worth one American life in order to have people who are with criminal records, gang members, ties to MS-13 crossing our borders illegally.
Yeah, and President Trump now is referring to the steel barrier, and I know that he talked about how he's going to use different materials in different parts of the countries that are along the border wall based on what they tell him they need there on the ground.
Right, and we heard from the Border Patrol agent at the press conference saying how much it is needed. You have to give people the tools in order to be able for them to do their job. Is a border wall 100% effective? No, there's not one solution that's going to be 100% effective. But the bottom line is President Trump is willing to negotiate and talk about what would be best, what physical barrier would be best along the border wall, whereas Democrats are basically saying, you know what, we can't afford to give in to this president, and that's where it's a huge disservice to Americans and to our national security.
Yeah, today is the 17th day of the government shutdown, so somebody needs to do some talking and come together at some point. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Thanks.